Hi Middle Country patrons, welcome back to another Take and Make program. My name is Amber Gagliardi. I'm a librarian here at the Middle Country Public Library and I'm excited to bring you through this project. Now this project screams summer. It's perfect to highlight all your beach treasures and I'm going to show you how to do it today. So this is the final project. You can see it's adorable and a perfect size for a centerpiece. You have a light, so if you're sitting out on your deck at night, you can light it up. And you have all these beautiful beach treasures that you can highlight. I did give you some in your kit, but you can certainly add your own. Let me lead you through what's in your kit and what you'll need to gather before we get started. So in your kit, we included a garden plastic dish, that's here. We included an assortment of shells, and you also have some pieces of beach glass. I personally love to find beach glass on the beach, and it will add some color to your centerpiece. You also got 2 large clam shells. This is what you'll use for your tea lights. These other shells are much too small to make into a candle. And you also got 2 wicks here. And then you got a container of beeswax. Now this beeswax is more than you'll need for these candles, so you could always make little candles like I did here with the extra. So now for the supplies you'll need on your own, you'll need your own sand. This sand I actually got at a craft store. So you can find this in any craft store. They usually have a beach section with shells and this sort of thing. So they come in bags. Just note that you'll need a good amount. You can also go to the beach and scoop up some nice sand. And another thing you could do is you could add color sand. So I kind of like the natural look, but you can certainly add blue or green sand. They sell all sorts of things in the sand art kits. So whatever you think will look nice in your home, you can go for, but you will need your own sand. You will also need a double boiler. You can see I have it set up here. It's very simple. I purchased this one on Amazon. It was $11. If you go to the candle making section, you can find these in any craft store, even in Walmart, things like that. It's a great thing to be able to make candles. It's super simple, and the only thing you really need is this double boiler. So you will need that. If you do not want to get a double boiler, you can just stack 2 saucepans together, but just note, use an old one that you don't plan on using for food again, because the wax does stick on it. So once you use it for candle making, that's pretty much it, unless you really want to sit there and scrub it. You'll also need another saucepan. So I have one here. Just make sure the sizes fit. You could grab a craft stick. If you don't want to use your nice wooden spoons at home, if you have one of these craft sticks hanging around, you won't have to clean it and you could just throw it out after, or just keep it for future candle making. And if you'd like, you could get some essential oils to add a nice scent to your candle. I got this whole set here at like a Marshall's or Home Goods. I think it was around $7 or $8, and I have more essential oils than I'll ever need, but it had a good assortment of different scents. So this was a good find. You can pretty much find essential oils anywhere at this point. A lot of people sell them and every store has them. And you will need, like for most of our take and makes, a hot glue gun. And it's always great to have scissors, a pen, marker, your basic supplies around. So now that you have all your stuff set and ready to go, let's dive into this project. Okay, before we start the fun part of this project of melting the candle wax and making your candle, you'll want to just get set up. So you can go ahead and remove this sticker that came in your dish. That's not going to look too nice, so you can do that and wash your bowl, or if it has any stuff in it, just get rid of that. and you're going to want to dump the sand in. Now the sand in this dish is actually going to be your setup for your making your candles, so you want to do this first. And as I mentioned before, this is actually a 9-inch dish, so it's pretty big, so you're going to need a decent amount of sand. And this is also, the sand is going to be the stability for your tea light. Obviously it's a shell, so it rocks back and forth. So this is where the sand is really essential. Okay, make sure it's nice and smooth. And look, it's like a little mini beach already. Okay, now you're going to get set up for your candles. So you can see I only have one in here, but depending on the size of your clamshells, you could have two. I would advise making two in case you burn this one, then you could replace it. But this is going to be, this is going to make it so when you're pouring your wax, it doesn't rock back and forth. So go ahead and get your clamshells nice and snug into this container, and it's going to do a dual purpose. So get that set up. The next thing you're going to do is grab your 2 wicks, and you're going to actually cut these down. Now obviously this wick is much too long for it to sit in there, and if you go ahead and put your wax in with this long thing, it's just going to tip right over and it's not going to be centered. So the key is to cut it down. Now you can kind of measure it with your eyes, but it's going to really be like 2 or 3 inches. Now don't cut it too short, you could always cut it down more after, but this will make it stiff and it'll stick straight up. So I'm going with about 3 inches there. Same thing with this one. And again, I'm going to cut this down again later, but this is going to be easier to work with. You're going to take your hot glue gun. You're going to put a decent amount of hot glue right on the tip of that wick, and you're going to center it in the middle of your shell. Same thing with your other one. And I'm going to put it right in the middle. Great. Okay, once you do this, you're all set up for the wax. So let me show you how to make the candles now. Okay, so to make candles, what you're going to do is you're going to put water in your saucepan that's going to sit on the bottom. So you'll want to, I put warm water in to expedite the process, so you can go ahead and do that, and you don't want a lot. You don't want your water to overflow. So just put like a couple inches of water, depending on the size of your pot, in. And you're going to get that up to a simmer to a boil, but you definitely don't want it to overflow. And then you're going to go ahead and put your double boiler on top of the pot, and then you're going to add your beeswax. Now the more you add, the longer it's going to take. Today we are making very small tea lights, so you really don't need a lot, and you could always boil it in batches. As I mentioned before, if you use a craft stick, you don't have to scrub your brush after. And it's a good size to kind of break up the pellets. Now when you make candles, there's all different size waxes you could buy. I like the pellets because they do tend to melt a lot quicker than a whole block. So that's been my preferred choice of candle making. So you'll want to go ahead and stir. until all the pellets are melted. And you can periodically take your stick and kind of help crush them up, separate them, and this will expedite the process. Now you want to be mindful that you don't get your wax too hot, but you need it hot enough to have it melt. As you can see, it's melting pretty quickly. But overall, this will take you 5 to 10 minutes, depending on how much peat pellets you put in. Once most of your wax is melted, this is when you can add the essential oils. So I am going to add this sweet orange essential oil because oranges remind me of the summer. So depending on how strong your essential oils are and how prevalent you want the smell will determine how many drops you put in. I'm going to put in about 10 drops, maybe a little more. And then you're going to stir it again. I also have in the past added some coconut oil. This holds the scent for longer. I don't have any coconut oil today, but that's also an option for you. You can just smell the orange. It smells so delightful. Okay, and then you'll just want to make sure your essential oils are dispersed throughout the wax so you have a nice even smell when you're burning your tea lights. This wax looks absolutely perfect and it is ready to pour in our tea lights. Okay, now you'll want to bring your double boiler over to your tea lights. What's nice is they have the pour spillets for you. So these are perfect. And what you're going to do is go nice and slow. And pour it in. Let it set, and you could always go back and add a little bit more. That's fine. And my wick stayed nice and straight, so I got lucky there. Okay. Okay, once you've poured this in, you'll want to give it some time to harden. And once it's hardened, you can go ahead and do the rest of your project. Okay, once your candle tea light is hardened, you can go ahead and put it in the middle and then decorate. So you have an assortment of seashells, so you can go ahead and just arrange them however you would like. Here's this fun one. You could add your sea glass around the border here. And kind of just place it wherever you'd like, and you could even switch it up because it's, you know, you're not gluing it down or anything. Something that I did do to add like a little pop of color, a little bit of blue, is I took a marker and I went around the rim like this, all the way around, carefully though, because you don't want it to go on the edge. So that's something you could do as well. Now you just want to remember this is plastic, so always have your tea light in the center so it doesn't get burnt. But you shouldn't have any issues, especially since you have all the sand around it. I mean, you could even glue some shells around here if you think that would look nice. You could really add any decor you would like. This is where you can get creative and make it your own. Always add your own shells in if you want. If you have special shells that you found as you traveled, you can do that. and I would love to see what you come up with. So if you come up with any other ideas, be sure to send me an email, share it with me. You could also post it on our social media, and we could share it with the rest of the community so they can see what a great job you did. I hope you enjoyed this project. I had a lot of fun crafting with you today, and if you have any questions, just feel free to email me and I'd be happy to help you out. Thank you so much. Have a great day.